Section 1.3, other ways of sampling, other sampling designs. What is this about? It's just in some samples, it's easier to sample them in a different way than others. The whole idea is to make it easier for us to study the sample. And remember, we study the sample because we would like to draw conclusions at the end about the sample and hence about the entire population. So, in the previous section, we introduced the simple random sampling. So what is the simple random sampling? So let's say we have, people and we give everyone a number, let's say 6 people. So the simple random sampling, you can pick, let's say I want to pick this one, and this one. So I'm going to choose 1, 2, and 5. So that's at random. I wrote the numbers on a piece of paper and then I reached this out to the jar by closing my eyes, and then I took them out. I took 3 out of the 6. I found that I got 1, 2, and 5. So that's the simple random sampling. So this is simple. Another way for sampling is called systematic sampling. So the systematic here that we have, systematic random sampling, so it has a procedure. The procedure is that you take the sample size and divide it, the population size. Usually we use capital N for that, and the sample size N. So what you need to do is take capital N over N and then round that to the nearest whole number by rounding down this result, the nearest whole number, say M. And then you choose a number where, number you want to start with. So, and then from there you start adding, adding M. You go up by M's. So for example, let's say we have, again, maybe a group of people, and I'm going to label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and now I want to start at the number I'm gonna start with is called K. So say I want to start at the second one. So I'm gonna choose this one. And then M is how far you want to go up. Maybe I want to go up by 3. So M is 3. So K is 2, M is 3. So you go 1, 2, 3. So now you pick the 5. You go again 1, 2, 3. Now you pick the 8. And then this keeps going on and on. This thing that we got is the so basically we are selecting every third number from the list, or every third person from the list. So this part here, this is our population. And what I got here obtained, that's the sample. So I obtained this sample by using the systematic way. That's another way. So besides simple random sampling, we have the systematic random sampling. Another one is called the cluster sampling. So the cluster sampling, the way the cluster sampling works, we divide a given population into 2 groups. And these 2 groups, they can have different characteristics. Or maybe you say, I want to separate my classes, put the boys together and the girls together. So if we have so boy, 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 girl, girl, boy, boy. Let's say we have this. So these are the students in my class, and maybe add one more girl. So now what I'm gonna do, this is my entire population. I'm going to divide this population into 2 groups. So one group here, one group is for the girls. So we have how many girls? 1, 2, 3. The boys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 boys and 3 girls. So now, after we chose this, we take a sample random. Okay, so it says here, obtain a simple random sample of the clusters. So let's say I'm gonna pick this one, I'm gonna pick this, you know, maybe two of them. So we start with the population, and this is called cluster population. And what we have at the end, that's the sample. So those are randomly selected clusters. So the steps here says use all the members of the clusters obtained in step 2 as the sample. So that's called cluster sampling. That's called cluster sampling. Another one is called stratified sampling, random sampling. So what is stratified random sampling? We take the population and divide it into strata or subpopulations. So you have a population of so we take a population. Let me go back a little bit back to this one here. When I decided to take a sample cluster, so the way this worked is, I can show another example. Let's say we have, before we move on to the other one, let's say we have people numbered 1, 2, 3, or let's call it this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So we can get a cluster here. Say I'm going to pick the 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And now out of this is the cluster population. This is the population. And then from here we choose a sample cluster. So maybe someone might say, hey, I'm gonna choose this one, and someone might say, I'm gonna choose this one. So then these are the sample randomly selected clusters: 17, 18, 19, 20. Now for the stratified sampling, stratified is you got a number of people here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So let's say we have this many number of people. So what you do is you take the population and split it. So divide it. So it means you have to use all of it. Divide it into strata. So this means, let's say I want to put the 1 here, the 3, 4, 8, 9. So it says divide the population into 2 subpopulations. Okay, and then the next one here is 2, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11. Okay, so here what we have, those are strata. Here we started with the population, and now from each stratum, from each one of these, this is one, this is another one, obtain a simple random sample. Okay, so we obtain a sample. Let's say, I wish I have let me add another one, call it 12. Let's put the 12 there. So now what do we do? From each stratum, obtain a simple random sample of size proportional to the size of the stratum. That is, the sample size of the stratum equals the total number size times the stratum size divided by the population size. So this means if I take the population size here is 12, and here the size of the strata or the stratum, each one of them, is 6. Size is 6. So what do we do? If we divide the population by the size of the strata for each strata, so that will give me 2. This means I'm going to choose any 2 randoms from here. Say maybe 1 and 9. Here, 3 and 6. Okay, so this is going to be our sample. So that's another way of selecting or choosing samples. So we have stratified sampling, we have cluster, we got systematic. Those are the 3 ones. And the original one is called simple random sampling.